Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 28 live feed spoilers. We are here on the other side of Jason's eviction, and what a journey, because I did not care for a lot of his antics the first week and a half of the game, but here tonight when he's speaking to Julie, when he's doing his speech, I got a little bit emotional. You could see how much he really cared about being there.
Yeah, hearing him talking to Julie, very honest conversation. It was great to see that side of him. And I wish that I saw a lot more of that in the house because I mostly had pots and pans, the fake crying with Angela. And I know he was trying to make these big dramatic moments, and he totally did. He has brought some life to a game that is moving in one direction for weeks on end now,
Yeah.
where, it was nice to have that little bit of excitement. I think a lot of us out there felt like he was probably going to end up winning the blockbuster and staying. And for a lot of people, it feels like he was the big one hope that if he stayed and he was able to actually take that HOH away from that side of the house for just 1 week, that we might have had some sort of shakeup. But now he's gone, and that is also in the air.
I'm going to put something out into the air, and everyone can go ahead and just strike me down if you choose for saying this. I think Mallory staying in the game is hopeful. I'm going to say that
I'll
there is
catch that Mallory ball.
Okay, all right, because I feel like Mallory, entertainment-wise, Jason 100%. I wanted Jason to stay over Mallory. He's going to bring a lot more drama. We are obviously here for drama, but we've also documented this in the live feeds. Drew did not trust Jason. It's one of the reasons why there was never any real momentum behind saving him this week.
There was one moment that I felt like maybe this might possibly go in his favor, and it's when I saw Taylor crying. I was just like, okay, I know that she likes Jason a lot, but I know that she loves Lala. So I was just like, is she crying because she's going to actually make this vote? But it was just so brief. It just left. I mean, we've been watching the live feeds. I was like, some miracle really had to have happened, right there, Survivor style, where they're hugging each other, being like, okay, the vote is this. Oh, okay, the vote is this. And something along those lines.
That is more optimistic. Well, that's actually more realistic than the amount of cope I was just at the buffet line, just taking all of the cope. When they had Lala getting emotional, I had a fleeting thought because she said this past weekend, she wasn't sure if she wanted to be there. I wondered if she was going to say in her speech, Jason wants to be here more than me, keep Jason, but she might have done that. And if she did, they probably still would have gotten rid of him anyway.
Yeah, they were still gonna end up doing that anyway. I know Julie tried to make this exciting tonight.
Yes.
To kind of be like, oh, we had these first 4 votes from the team that wants Jason out, but we have saved all of the Melody votes. I'm like, okay, Julie, I don't think that anybody's really buying this.
Yeah.
At least the live feeders are not buying this.
No, but we have a lot to obviously get into here about the eviction. Some tinfoil hat stuff that I do think, I don't want to say this is too pie in the sky, but I think there are reasons to think that something could happen moving forward. Before we go any further here, be sure to join our YouTube memberships because over there we have new Big Brother exclusive videos. Every week we have a brand new exclusive Big Brother discussion coming to our YouTube members this weekend. That is a really great way to help support us here at the channel to make these daily Big Brother live feed updates for you guys. So thank you so much for your support.
We also are covering Sugar there right now. We're going to be having Reacher coming up in 2 weeks. It's coming up really quickly.
Yes.
And we're going to have the new season of Slow Horses, all for our YouTube members only. So be sure to join them. And thank you so much to everyone who is supporting us.
Okay, I might morph into Keanu for a moment, and please let me know if I'm getting way too delusional here.
Okay.
So Mallory staying. Here is the benefit. She showed tonight that she can be very patient and cautious in competitions. This is now multiple competitions that she has won in this game under some degree of pressure. Both times, she may not be the most physical person in the game, but she could be a competition asset for this side. I know we all thought that Jason was the bigger one, and that might be true, but Mallory, she's proven she's not nothing at this point, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, if she doesn't win or someone on that side of the house doesn't win, I mean, Mallory's just going to keep going up and up and up and up, especially because she has won multiple times. It's just, I have my hard hat on and I like D, but I just think that D is going to end up winning this next HOH. It just kind of feels like that's where this is going to end up going. Camu can't play again. You know, I think Devins doesn't want to win this next one. Chuck doesn't want to win any of them. As
Yes.
a possibility, Haley could win, but it just feels like this is just going to knocked right back into D's court again.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to lose Drew next week.
D is just like so far and away the best player right now. And I honestly don't think it's even close. I mean, just look at what her and Devins managed to pull off in the past several days, where they're obviously a big target. A huge chunk of the house thinks that Devins has a power, and yet they're able to point the target more on Camu because of the Tea Party and everything that happened there. They're able to sort of recognize things that are going on in the house. Even this idea that, oh, what's going on with Yash? Is he somebody who's really teaming up more with the underdogs? Like, they got together over the night, tried to make an alliance with Yash to try to make him feel more secure, even though Yash already had a different alliance with Devins. It's just like they're so attuned to what's going on and they correct from it really, really quickly.
I was really surprised because everybody does think that Devins has this power, and
Yes.
he does. And even when confronted about it, he was just kind of like, like it's tough, right? I was surprised that Jason didn't use that in his speech to be
Mhm.
like, you know what? I'm gonna flush that power out, Devins. If
Yes.
I am gonna be the person that is going to do that, if you know, you guys, the underdogs, all us underdogs, we want to have a chance at anything, I am willing to be the person that's gonna flush that power out.
Yeah, that is the thing. As emotional as Jason's speech was at times, he also could have cranked it up to like an 11 or a 12.
Yeah, basically telling everybody you're boring, and if I'm not here, you're going to be boring. That's not really that helpful. I'd be sitting back being like, I am not boring, I don't think, but you
Yeah.
know, I don't need you to be here overshadowing me because everybody's on TV. They
Yes.
all want to have their moment in the sun.
Yeah, it probably did come across as a little bit condescending. And he could have used that moment to say, and I know he was like, you guys all know who has the power, but it's all right, that's great, Jason. But name a couple of names. Like, specifically go up there and be like, Camu is the person I'm going after, because just based on body language, you didn't even want Camu embracing you or anything else. Like, you could have just said, this is the person I'm going after. If you do not do X, Y, or Z, Camu is going to win the game. Just like point everybody to a specific direction, because even if you end up being sent out of the game anyway, don't you still want your side of the house to try to find a way to pull something off here? And really, we'll go more into this, but going after that trio of Camu, Haley, and Chuck, like that is really, and this is not even just like personal preference, this is just where things are in the game. Going after those three is really the underdog's best hope right now.
Absolutely. If you can't go after the vets, which you can,
Yeah.
then you should be going after this trio, but specifically Camu because he's actually won something.
Yes.
Haley and Chuck haven't won anything. Chuck is kind of like, I may not win anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you do have to start breaking some of this up. I just feel like, okay, my hard hat
All
is
right,
on,
all right.
and it's on because I really like Devins and I do like D. It's just this game is so slanted towards them winning. They have won like HOH after HOH. They've got a power. We're going to have another power that's going to be coming up. It seems like Jason was somewhere in the top 3 every single week, but
Yeah.
now Jason's gone. So all those votes are up in flames. They don't matter at all anymore. So who's going to end up with this power? It'll be D.
Okay, two things on this. Now, I mean, first and foremost here, you guys need to do just the 12-hour window after the episode airs. Like, we've already aired a lot of our grievances when it comes to this vote, but this is just a specific solution. Just do 12 hours after the episode.
Love Island style.
Yeah, Love Island style, actually relevant. I admitted last week I put some votes on Mallory. On Melody. I'm about to
Yeah.
make another admission. I voted for your guy Drew a number of times tonight. See, and here's
And see, I don't know who to vote for
yeah,
because now that it's like Jason is out, and
yeah,
I saw like people were
yes,
rallying to get him a power. And now that he's out, this is what the problem is, right? Like over here with the vets, there's only one person left.
yeah.
So anyone who wants a vet, it's all going to D. And then there's all these people on the other side of the house where it's just going to kind of get spread out. Where I'm like, okay, guys, who are we rallying behind with the underdogs? Tell me so I can throw my votes on them.
Well, okay, this was my thought process here with your guy Drew. Obviously, yeah, I like to see you happy. I like to see Drew have some power, but
I like Drew, and I'd like to see him have some power when he's actually off the fence. I understand why he's still on it right now,
yeah,
but once he gets off the fence, then I'm willing to give him more power. I'm not willing to give him power where he's going to give it to this whole group that's got Kamu in it.
I'm worried about that. Like, admittedly, I have my concerns. My only other rationale here was my heart wanted to vote for Mallory. For Melody. I don't know why I'm getting their names confused tonight.
They're
Maybe
close.
I'm still distressed about Jason, but I just feel like voting for Melody is just like sending it straight into the dumpster here. And I feel like other than Jason, Drew is the person on the underdogs, I guess underdogs in his case, I saw the most people kind of looking at. So I'm just gonna hope Drew. It's been a while in the game at this point. Maybe you're going to start to come around to some information here. Mallory's stage, you're much more likely to work with Mallory than you were Jason. That's probably why. For Drew's game, it's a very good thing that Mallory stuck around this week.
I just feel Drew is not going to make a move until his side of the house, because he is still working with the tool shed, until the tool shed is not in power anymore. And then I think he can feel comfortable to make a move. But before then, for him, he doesn't have all the information. He doesn't know that like
Yeah.
Devins and everyone is like, okay, we're ready to just cut Drew next week. Ah, if we're in power, Drew's going home. He doesn't
Yeah.
have this information. And because he doesn't have it, he thinks he's still working with everybody. That's why this whole allowance has been like so strange to me, because yes, he has been talking to the other side of the house like they told him to do.
Yes.
And yes, he eventually ended up kind of being in the middle because they're pushing him out. Like, what is he supposed to do? But he is still actually working with them.
Yeah. Everything is frustrating around Drew at this point, and including like I'm even frustrated about some of the discourse happening with Drew online, because there was this movement going on where in the event that Jason won the blockbuster, everybody was going to be like, oh, it's Drew's fault that Mallory's going to be. It's like, no, it's
Oh
not
my
just
God.
Drew's fault. Taylor, from what we have seen, she wasn't going to be willing to get rid of Lala. I mean,
Everybody's just drinking the same water that Angela is drinking because her obsession
Yes.
with Drew is really weird at this point. Like, I understand that there is paranoia in this house.
Yes.
Absolutely. This is
Yes.
a very intense game. But to the point of like even sort of seeing it tonight with the voting and stuff, it's still like, oh, it's still about Drew. It's like, you gotta take a step back, Angela. This is getting really weird.
Okay, I'm going to put on a tinfoil hat here. Listen, I'm not a therapist. I have no actual university level study in any of this, but I'm
Okay.
going to try to look at Angela right now and say that I think she's got some unresolved issues from her first time playing Big Brother, where
Mhm.
she had all this drama, all this distrust around Quinn, and it feels like she's carrying that in with Drew at this point. When Drew, yes, he's playing multiple sides, but yes, as you said, he was explicitly told to play multiple sides.
They are not the same player, Quinn and Drew. They are not.
No, like she is just viewing him through that lens and not being willing to give him like any chance at all, like any real opportunity. But okay, here is another dose of cope here that we're going to give when it comes to Drew, because
Mhm.
like there is a chance somebody could tell him something. And this is all going back to the live feeds over the past 24 hours, because in the midst of all of this, oh, we suddenly need to bring in Yash for more things because we're kind of worried about where he stands.
Yes.
Yash did find out from Devins that there was a lot of thinking that the one good aspect of a Mallory versus Lala vote here was that it was going to try to force Drew into showing where he stands. And so
Mhm.
Yash knows that that's something that was a priority for Devins. And like Barrett even knows some of this to some extent now too. Like I understand not wanting to say anything before the eviction. You don't know where all the numbers are gonna fall, but
You also don't know where the next OH is going to fall.
yeah, so it's like I understand holding that stuff back, but depending on what happens from here, like you could actually tip Drew off, and maybe Drew could be in denial about it for a while. Not everybody likes to believe, and if it's Yash that's spreading that information, because no one knows where his head ever really is. Like they may not believe
No.
it, but you have to try to do something because there is just too much momentum right now about Drew possibly being at the very least a nominee, if not an actual target.
Absolutely. I think my boy is in trouble and he's absolutely going to end up getting put up because I still feel like this is just a steamroll season. I think that D is probably going to be the next HOH. You know, we'll find out a bit later
Mhm.
who it's going to end up being, but she's such a competition beast
Yeah.
and she's winning where she needs to win. And I think if, you know, because everyone on that side is so paranoid about Drew, I think that they just really want to get him out at this point. But I'm going to say, you guys really need to make sure your shot hits because
Yes.
if it doesn't and he ends up on the other side of the house and he's not giving you any information anymore, it's going to be a lot harder for them because he is still not all information, but he is still funneling information back. He's the person that is informing them of so much of what is going on. And once that dries up, it's going to be a bit of a different game.
You make a really excellent point here, and there's multiple reasons for it, but I think one of the biggest ones is if that shot on Drew does not hit, there is no real plan B at this point. I mean, yeah, you could try to go after Melody, but it's just like, that's whatever. You can't go after Barrett, though. Despite whatever sort of paranoia is out there, Barrett might be safe for now because D is the one pulling a lot of these strings. And even today, if you went on the live feeds, oh, here is D, and you called this days ago. He's just like cuddling up with Barrett. Yeah, it's just like she's just pulls him right back in. It doesn't really take that much when you are D and this is Barrett.
Listen, Barrett is frustrating me to no
I know.
end. Like, I was feeling pretty positive about him pre-season, but I did not expect him to just turn into this like fanboy and not really play the way that I thought he was going to play. I mean, there's a lot of times super fans come on
Yeah.
and they end up disappointing. And then there's a lot of times we get people who are brand newer recruits, like Paul's first season, where
Yeah.
he's just like, all right, I don't know this game, but he picked it up really quickly
Yes.
and started playing really well. I was just like, what? This is super exciting. I expect to see super fans go on and play better than this.
Yes.
He is just like following her around and doing anything she wants.
And like, even worse to me,
Barrett, you are one of us.
okay, this is I think what makes me even more mad about it. And this is completely irrational. I'm gonna say that from the jump here. If he wanted to just constantly follow her around and be loyal to no end, like that's his choice. But he'll have these conversations with Drew. And for that split second, I'll convince myself that something is changing. And I know in my heart, it's not gonna happen. But it's just like he continues to give me this false sense of hope and then completely negates it. And at some point, I'm gonna tell myself, I'm going to stop falling for this. I'm going to stop falling. I want to be proven wrong, but you're not really giving me reason.
Barrett is going to end up being the reason that Drew actually goes home. I know that like Angela will think that it's her and she will take all the credit to be like, I'm the one, I got him out sort of thing. And so will D. But really, I think when all the votes kind of come together, if Barrett is not voting to save Drew, Drew is in huge trouble. He's going.
Really, really huge trouble. But okay, there's a couple of things still on our minds here coming out of this episode. I will say the one thing that was very interesting to me about Julie telling Jason that he's been consistently in the top 3 for these votes. If that's been the case every week, think back to the first week this was going on. Angela won. I think we can presume that Devins was probably in second
That's
place.
right. I would think that.
So D wasn't in the top 3.
No.
Where is D? I mean, she might have easily been 4th place, and she's just going to rise up the ranks because of that. Like,
Well, yeah, because Angela wasn't able to be in the next week,
Yeah.
right? So then it was probably Devins, Jason, and D. And now, Devins can't be be in there. Jason can't be in there. It'll be D in there.
Yeah,
Our
like
fans are gonna come out.
and that's the thing. Like, it's also going to be Devin's fans and Angela's fans voting for her. Like,
Yes.
I've tried to convince myself, like, oh, maybe Dee's fan base isn't that big, but it's just like you have to remember these other elements of it. So moving into the next HOH cycle that is coming up, like, obviously, if you're rooting for the tool shed at this point, you're just going to root for one of them, and the steamroll is going to happen. But like,
Yes.
if you are legitimately rooting for the other side, I think this is the best case scenario that you can hope for. So let's just run through this really, really quickly here. So Mallory ends up winning the head of household, and we know that she has been going after the survivor players, but Dee has tried to talk to her. I think some other people would talk to her. She ends up nominating Haley, Chuck, and Kamu for eviction. If this happens, based on everything Devins has said, he's not going to use the power this week because he wants to save it for D. This is the one good thing about this ridiculous power being for 6 weeks. He'll have a lot of opportunities to use it moving forward. He's probably not going to waste it. Then there's a legitimate chance Kamu does actually leave the game this coming week because he is by far the most dangerous of those three. Like, even on the feeds the past 24 hours, Kamu is even complaining about Chuck and is just like, are you just going to be dragged around till the end of the game?
But he is still a vote, and
Yes.
he's a vote to help. And that really is best case scenario for the underdogs that we get. Mallory in some sort of power. She gets 3 people up from the tool shed. That is not Drew or Barrett. We'll throw him in there for now. He could be swayed, maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. But if that scenario plays out, she's able to at least weaken that side and take away a vote. If they can then take Drew away, if he finds out in this next week that they're targeting him to go, then they can easily just pull Drew. And then their numbers are so far down that they may have a more equal game. Maybe. This season has been going one way. We are like 3 weeks in and it is only going one way. So my hard hat is on for a Drew HOH. Or a D HOH or Haley.
My darkest timeline fear here is, I'll just make this very clear, is that somebody like Melody ends up winning HOH, Drew ends up like having some sort of fear because of the tool shed, and like all this sort of chaos ends up happening, and we end up losing another person in the underdogs this week when we really, really should not be losing any of them.
If we have somebody who is part of the underdogs that ends up in an HOH where they get rid of one of their own, then welcome to Faute. I had seen a bunch of people online already saying that this side of the house is the new Faute, and I completely disagree. Like, Faute is a really weird, special thing that has really only happened that one time, where you had this whole underdog side of the house that all got together to work together, that actually got power and got their own people out. This hasn't happened here yet. This group is not Faute. This is a group that are underdogs that haven't been able to get any power, and they are getting steamrolled, and this has happened multiple times.
Okay, we'll just turn this over to you guys at this point. How are you feeling about Jason leaving the Big Brother house? Are you also surprised that he did not mention his reality TV experience on his way out the door? Because I am stunned.
I was surprised until I heard him in his interview with Julie, where he was like, I really wanted to come here as Jason. I wanted to go in as Jason. I wanted to come out as Jason. I wanted to just be Jason and see who that's all about. So once I heard what he had to say, I was like, oh, okay, that's why he didn't do that.
Yeah, it makes sense from his vantage point. But also be sure to join our YouTube memberships. We have that discussion exclusively over there about D and the have not rules.
And don't forget, we have a new video coming up this weekend.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We will see you here next time.